April 11th, 12:13 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 2. Hey everybody, Looney365 here. It's been a couple months, but we're back. Court will now reconvene. Mr. Payne, please call your witness. This next person is someone who witnessed the crime as it happened. The prosecution calls Miss Dahlia Hawthorne to the stand. Interesting. What's with this stiff silence? In my long career as a judge, I have been deceived by many witnesses. It's my job to doubt, to take no one at their word. But in your case, I must admit that you radiate a glow of complete sincerity. I can't believe he actually said that. Oh, now then, witness, could you please state your full name? Don't worry, sweetie, there's no need to be nervous. If anyone says anything rude, you can be sure I'll cut them right down to size. And I will bash them with my gavel. I love how they look straight at me when they say that. Thank you for calming my nerves. You were all so nice, I almost feel right at home. Not at all. It was nothing. If we may move on now, what is your full name and occupation? My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I'm a junior in literature at Ivy University. I just want to say, it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence. The honor is all mine. No, the honor is all mine. Well, we know whose milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. Dated pop culture references. Are dated. Let's move on. Sir? Is there something I can help you with? You just go and say anything. You just go on and say whatever's on your mind. I'm sure there must be some kind of mistake. Beanie wouldn't kill anyone. I just know it. Yes. I can see why you'd say that. She's going to be a tough witness, all right. It only took her 12 seconds to wrap them all around her little finger. Now then, please proceed with your testimony. Let's hear about what you witnessed on the day of the incident, if you please. What I witnessed. I'd been planning to go back to Feeney's place after class was over. Feeny and Dougie, they were talking behind the building. And suddenly Dougie got all wobbly and just collapsed. That's when Feeny noticed I was there. I went to go and find some other students and they called the authorities. I don't know what to say. According to you, Miss Hawthorne, the defendant didn't do anything wrong. Young lady, as old as I am, even I recall the hot flames of how the young hot flames of passion can burn. Nevertheless, it is my job to discover the truth. Please tell us the truth. But I would never. Excuse me, or bless me, something. I'm gonna sneeze again, but I'm gonna try to keep going. That's more than enough, witness. I won't allow this to continue. What do you mean by that? Please just let me proceed with my cross-examination, Your Honor. I, for one, don't plan to win my case on a bunch of paper-thin lies. You haven't changed a bit, Mia Fey. What's this? So you two are acquainted? Yes, we met before. Once. In any case, Miss Fey, the floor is all yours. It's good to see you again, Madam Fey. Madam? I'm no one's grandma yet, girly. Alright, a good old cross-examination. Are you saying that the victim just collapsed on his own? Yes. In other words, the defendant never touched the victim, is that right? I was watching the whole time. Feeny never did a thing to Dougie. I press her for no good reason. I just know the judge will get angry with me. So what should I do about her testimony just now? I don't think we got anything. Tell her their statement works in our favor for now. I'll hold off on looking into it any deeper until it's necessary. Very well, young lady. Please go on with your testimony. And what did Mr. Wright say when he saw you? I'm sorry. I was just so flustered that I really don't remember. Please forgive me. You don't remember? Well, that's common enough. Sometimes I can't recall a sentence I passed only a minute prior. Please, someone, anyone, stop him before he gets hurt. By me. When you say students, do you mean students from the pharmacology department? Yes, they're all very fond of their drugs. Please try to stay on topic. So, to find some pharmacology students, you went to the labs, correct? That's what I was planning to do, but in the end, I wound up not going. A group of about 10 research students came running out of the building entrance. Somehow they all seemed to know what was going on. The students knew what was going on. But how could the students have known what was going on? Well, I don't know for sure that they knew what happened. It's just they all seemed kind of excited about something. Doesn't look like I'm gonna get any more info about the students. So did the students call the police? Yes, I was so panicked. Yes, well, anyone would have been, my dear. That girl, she's telling a super obvious lie and she knows it. She's just pretending to protect Mr. Wright. Yeah, that's gotta be it. Way to go, Mia. Okay, that means I'm gonna have to dig deep to find the contradiction on this one. Super obvious lie. So, who is this Dougie person? Oh, I'm sorry, Doug Swallow. We were dating up until about 8 months ago. So what were Mr. Swallow and Mr. Wright talking about anyway? How can you be so mean? I would never eavesdrop. I wasn't raised to be so rude and unrefined. That's right, Miss Faye. Don't drag the witness down to your level. Why am I being demonized here? Please go on. What did you see next? I think I already did this one, but... I mean, it's gotta be this one. Feeble lies are not very becoming, Miss Hawthorne, so let's drop them, shall we? What? I would never... Miss Faye, I will not allow you to badger this witness. I believe the defense is engaged in a fishing expedition. That is, she has no supporting. Please don't glare at me like that. I'm just doing my job. Now then, Miss Hawthorne. The defendant's palm print was found on Mr. Swallow's leather jacket. It's already been shown that Mr. Wright did, in fact, push the victim. What? There's no need to try and cover for the defendant. It would be much better if you came out and told us the whole truth. There's nothing to worry about, young lady. Just tell us everything that you saw. Yes, Your Honor. I will. If you don't mind, I'd like to revise my testimony. Looks like we're finally getting somewhere. Okay. You didn't see it? Well, I saw the moment when Dougie fell to the ground. And at that time, there was only the two of them at the scene. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, and the victim, Doug Swallow? Yes, that's right. Didn't hear anything unusual. Wasn't there a loud noise? You say you didn't hear anything unusual, is that correct? Yes, that's why I was very relaxed looking at the scenery around me. That's nice, but I find it just a little odd. I have here the testimony of your boyfriend, Mr. Phoenix Wright, and he clearly testified to the effect that when he pushed the victim, he heard a sharp, loud noise. He said that? If you were really that close to the two of them, why didn't you hear this noise as well? Well, maybe the noise just wasn't all that memorable. But according to Mr. Wright's testimony, it was a sharp noise like a snap. There's no way a noise like that could fail to make an impression. May I have a moment to answer? By all means. I know the reason why I didn't hear the noise. You see, the truth is, I had my headphones on and I was listening to music at the time. Headphones? You mean that both of your ears were covered? The rain was just beginning to let up, but it seemed as though Thor wasn't ready for his fun to come to an end yet. So the sky continued to flash and rumble. Thunder and lightning, huh? Yes, I'm afraid of the sound of thunder, so I put my headphones on to block it out. Well, Your Honor, as you can see, there weren't any contradictions in her testimony after all. Wait a sec, Mia. That testimony just now. She said something that could totally change this whole case. Your Honor, there is a problem with the witness's testimony. What do you mean? Didn't you notice? She said there was lightning, correct? Yes, what about it? Well, lightning is actually a large discharge of electricity in the atmosphere, am I right? Now's not the time for a science lesson, Miss Faye. Yes, Your Honor. Anyway, since the cause of death was electrocution, isn't it possible that the victim died for being hit by a bolt of lightning? I must admit that the thought had not occurred to me. Just what kind of thoughts do occur to this guy anyway? This entire case is built on the premise that Mr. Doug Swallow was murdered, but that very premise itself is mistaken. The defense believes that Mr. Swallow was, in fact, the victim of a straight bolt. It does appear the defense may be onto something. Could it be that the death was actually accidental? Alright, you did it, Mia. I'll be taking that not guilty now if you don't. I'm hurt that you would have such a low opinion of me, Miss Faye. Huh? I'm not a fool, you know. The prosecution has done its research, Your Honor. We found that there were no lightning strikes on that day at that location. What? What's more, we have evidence that the electrical cable is definitely linked to this case. Evidence, Mr. Payne? Well, what is this evidence? This affidavit. And who is this affidavit from? The pharmacology students who were conducting experiments in their labs that day. Allow me to read out loud to the court the testimony of the pharmacology students. All equipment in the labs lost power all of a sudden around 3 p.m. that day. Was it a blackout? All of the lab's equipment runs on high voltage, Your Honor. So you're saying the equipment lost power because... Precisely. They lost power because of the severed electrical cable. The power outage occurred at approximately 3 p.m., which fits well with the time of death listed in the autopsy report. Exactly. In other words, the victim died as a result of touching the severed electrical cable. According to the students, the cables were very old. They're planning on having them replaced in the near future. I see. Apparently the cables have become so brittle that even the smallest bump would have caused them to break. Well, that's not good. However, there is one thing that troubles me. The cable could have been broken by any small bump. Then it wouldn't have snapped if it had been... Then it wouldn't have snapped if it hadn't been bumped into, correct? Well, I suppose you could say that. Miss Faye, do you have any thoughts regarding the cause of the severed cable? Your Honor? I don't like how this is looking one bit. I have to come up with something to try and regain some momentum. If it pleases the court, the defense would like to state its opinion. Well then, let's hear it. Who or what was it that caused the cable to break? Actually not sure here. This is it. This is why the cable snapped. Okay, yep, I got it wrong. Oh wait, we're not being penalized. Hang on. Your Honor, please think back to Mr. Wright's testimony. The defendant's testimony? He said that after he pushed the victim, he heard a loud, sharp noise. Now this happened at around 3 p.m., correct? Yes, that sounds right. Wait, are you saying that... The lab equipment lost power at 2:55, which fits right in with Mr. Wright's timeline. In other words, it was Mr. Wright's shove that caused the power outage. Yes, the prosecution also came to that same conclusion. And it was that very shove that caused Mr. Swallow to be electrocuted. I'm afraid I can't agree with you there, Mr. Payne. What's that supposed to mean? Take a good look at where the victim landed after being shoved. See the umbrella? It's by the electrical pole. That's right, the victim banged into the pole as a result of being pushed. It was that impact that caused the cable to break. Well, that makes sense, and then the victim was electrocuted. I'm sorry, Your Honor, but no, it doesn't make sense at all. If the victim was shoved into the far pole, then he couldn't have been electrocuted by this severed cable in the foreground here. In other words, someone other than my client must have electrocuted the victim. Order, order in the court! Ah, the lamentations of my enemy, how I've longed to hear them. It's true, the defense is absolutely correct. There doesn't seem to be any way the defendant could have... Mr. Judge, sir, may I say something? The Madam Attorney's explanation, she said some things that are a little different than I remember them. What the? Please, just once more. May I please testify one last time? Please, Mr. Judge. Of course it's all right. Just go right ahead and give your new testimony. This is it. She's finally starting to show her true colors. What I Witnessed, Part 2. The truth is, Beanie pushed him twice. The first time was into the electrical pole, that's when the cable broke. Then Dougie tries his best to run away from him, but Beanie caught up and crashed into him from behind. The cable snapping and Dougie being electrocuted, it all occurred in less than a minute. So after being shoved, the victim got up and tried to run away? And that is when the defendant pushed him for the second time. I'm so sorry, Beanie, but I just have to tell the truth. Am I doing the right thing? Am I, Mr. Judge? Of course you are, my dear. As painful as it may seem, you are. Now then, Miss Fay, you may proceed with your cross-examination. Well, I think I already saw what's wrong with that statement. This clock's at 3:05. If it all occurred in less than a minute, it should be... I think. Bang. That's enough, witness. I'm afraid I don't understand. You will in a minute. Could you please take a look at this picture? Oh, that medicine. That's the one Beanie likes to take for his cold. It's not the medicine I want you to look at. It's the wristwatch. It stopped at the precise time the victim was electrocuted. In other words, 3:05 p.m. Yes, and your point is, Miss Fay? My point is this. What time was it when the lab suffered that power outage due to the cable snapping? Well, according to the student's testimony, the answer is clear. It was 2:55 p.m. Would you care to explain that to the court, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne? What exactly happened during this 10-minute interval? The defense proposes that it was during this interval that the real murderer killed Mr. Doug Swallow. Order in the court. What is all this about? This is nonsense. The real murderer? Even you can't deny that the time between the cable breaking and the electrocution are completely unaccounted for. Then who was it? Who else are you saying could have done it? There's only one person who could have murdered Mr. Swallow. Only after my client had left the scene was there a window of opportunity for the real killer. Miss Fay, is the defense ready to indict someone as this real killer? It's finally time. This is the moment I've been waiting for. Yes, Your Honor, we are ready. Very well. But remember, if you accuse the wrong person, you will be penalized. Think very carefully before you speak, Miss Fay. Now then, Miss Faye, let's have it. Who is the real killer? It could only have been you, Dahlia Hawthorne. What? How can you... The defense is grasping at straws. 10 minutes passed between the time the cable broke and the time of the electrocution. What exactly were you doing that whole time, Miss Hawthorne? Were you really listening to some music while cheering them both on as they fought? I find it hard to believe that you didn't lift a finger to stop the men dearest to you. Order, order! Miss Faye. What? I mean, why? That is to say... Miss Hawthorne, I believe you did... Fuck. Miss Hawthorne, I believe you did witness the two men fighting on that day. However, after Mr. Wright pushed the victim and subsequently left the scene, it was you who pushed Mr. Swallow to his death by your very own hands. How can you say something so mean, Madam Faye? I didn't do anything. Miss Faye, this is a very serious charge you are. Your Honor, please, I have something I want to say. You, what is it? Please strike everything the defense said just now from the record. What the? Are you daft? You're totally wrong, Miss Faye. Dolly, she couldn't do something like that. Mr. Wright, get back in your seat. Bailiff, grab that man. That's you. Leave my Dolly alone. That boy. He's got himself in way over his head. Oh, Mr. Grossberg, you're back. It seems I've arrived just in the nick of time. I found the police report on that incident in your newspaper clipping. Thank you so much. This is exactly what I was hoping for. District Courthouse Cafeteria, August 27th, 4 p.m. Victim Diego Armando, 28, occupation lawyer. Suspect Dahlia Hawthorne, age 19. Armando ingested poison while interviewing the suspect regarding another case. Traces of poison were found in the victim's coffee cup. No poison was found in the vicinity or on the suspect's person. It's unclear how the poison entered the victim's coffee cup. You better take a good look at it. It details how you came to lose your boyfriend. Now then, the defense has made a very serious accusation. Mr. Payne, what do you have to say about this? Well, really, Your Honor, May I interrupt you for just a moment, Mr. Prosecutor? Don't you worry, my dear. I have the situation well at hand. Go on right ahead. Madam Faye, are you seriously accusing me of killing my sweet Dougie? Yes, I am. Not only am I saying you murdered Doug Swallow, but you also tried to pin the whole thing on your current lover, Phoenix Wright. I told you that you should let me handle this. Sorry, please, go ahead. How could you say that? I'm absolutely devoted to my dear Feeny. The notion that I would try and frame him is ludicrous. It's just too much for my poor little me to bear. I believe the girl is trying to ask what on earth her motive would be. The answer to that lies somewhere in this police report. It must. 8 months ago, an incident occurred in the basement of the cafeteria of this building. And then, that same day, the two of them accidentally met? Your Honor, the defense requests further testimony from Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Further testimony? What about? About the events of the day when she first met the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What could that possibly have to do with this case? The witness claims that she has no reason to frame the defendant, am I correct? Well, I have evidence that suggests, in fact, she has a very good reason. Very well, then. The court grants the defense's request. Young lady, would you mind staying on for just a bit longer? Of course not, Mr. Judge. Get ready for the battle of your life, Dahlia Hawthorne. How I met my Feeny. I first met my darling Feeny 8 months ago. It's like we were destined to meet in this very courthouse's basement reading room. The moment our eyes met, my heart skipped a beat. We've been going out ever since that fateful day. We're so lovey-wovey, we literally make people sick. It's just jealousy, I think. Mr. Wright, do that again, you'll be held in contempt of court. And now we enter the final act of our little drama. As we used to say in the days of my youth, go get her. That was a short testimony. So until that time, you had been dating Doug Swallow? Yes, I'm a real fool, I know. My emotions change so quickly, I'm ashamed of myself. No, not at all. Look at me, I'm infamous for changing my mind. My critics have even taken to calling me Judge Fickle. Maybe you should look for a different line of work. Despite that, however, he always hands down the correct verdict. That's why some people also call him the Great Judgini. The courthouse reading room? It's a strange place to meet the love of your life. That's not true, Madam Faye. After all, Feeney was not only an art student, but he's also planning on becoming a lawyer. I'm not talking about him, I'm talking about you, Miss Hawthorne. What's a literature student like you doing in a courthouse reading room? This line of questioning is a waste of time. It has nothing to do with our murder case. Miss Faye, I'm warning you. This has nothing to do with Mr. Swallow's case. I have to remember the judge is on Dahlia's side. I better tread carefully. Shit. If the judge gets any angrier, you'll lose the whole case. I'll just have to hold my tongue for the time being. Now then, young lady, please go on with your testimony. Tell us about the time you first met Phoenix Wright. Okay, well, I'll come back to that one. So what was it about Mr. Wright that made your heart malfunction like that? In my personal opinion, he's just like a typical snotty-nosed college brat. Perhaps to a woman your age, but to me, Feeney is handsome. How old is Mia? At this point, she's not even that old. Perhaps to you, Miss Hawthorne, but to the rest of the planet, he's a dime a dozen. Love is a mysterious thing, and I object to this line of questioning. If you were to look at my wife, for example, you might all be shocked. He's telling the truth, though it's truly shocking. Beautiful mushroom growing tall in the darkness, it comes from a cow dung. That's the poem that best describes how I feel about my Feeney. Alright, I don't think this is gonna do anything. We gotta press further on this. Your Honor, if you'll allow me some latitude, I think I can establish relevance. Please ask her to continue on with her testimony. Very well, young lady. I've got a simple question for you. What were you doing downstairs in the courthouse reading room? If it pleases Your Honor, the answer is simply this. You were writing a paper on what? On the relationship between modern Senryu poetry and the criminal underworld. Oh, that sounds like a fascinating research idea. Am I getting old? Now I've even forgotten what I've forgotten. Again with the midlife crisis stuff? Mia, why did that girl really come to this courthouse? Isn't that what you wanted to know? Speaking of forgetting things, you haven't forgotten the police report, have you? Went through a lot of trouble to get it, my dear, so be sure to read it carefully. Yeah, I don't buy it. Miss Hawthorne, you weren't here because of your research paper, were you? Didn't you actually come for a much more important reason? What is the meaning of that cocky smile on your face, Miss Faye? 8 months ago, right here in this very courthouse, there was another tragedy. Another tragedy? Do you mean the incident in which an attorney was poisoned? The name of the suspect in that incident is listed here in this report. And that name is Dahlia Hawthorne. What? Dahlia Hawthorne? Yes, the sweetie pie of everyone's eye, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. She was the prime suspect in a criminal case just 8 months ago. Order, order, order! This is unbelievable. It's true then, the loveliest rose can hide. Miss Faye, that's not fair. You can't slander my witness with an unrelated case. I, Winston Payne, will not allow it. Mr. Prosecutor, I believe I was speaking. Pardon me, go right on ahead. It's true about that 8 months ago. The police expressed some interest in me. Expressed some interest, huh? Mr. Judge, sir, I know I'm under oath, so I'll tell you the absolute truth. I did not commit the crime that occurred during that incident 8 months ago. I see. Okay, I've tied the two crimes together. Now I've just got to stay on the offensive. Well done, Mia. You really lit a fire in my heart and my buttocks. I can hardly tell which is more inflamed, my spirit or my hemorrhoids. The poisoning. I met the lawyer who was poisoned to discuss something in the cafeteria that day. I left my seat for just a moment, and that's when it happened. From what I heard, it was a liquid poison that's lethal at just 2 teaspoons. Not only that, I heard it was a very special kind of poison. So you see, I'm innocent. I wouldn't even know where to get a poison like that. So that's what happened here 8 months ago. However, as you heard from the witness's testimony, she had nothing to do with it. I think the defense is just out of tricks. I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Payne, but I'm afraid the defense has many more tricks up its sleeve today. And I'll be sure to show them to you before the end of this cross-examination. What the? Why does the defense suddenly feel stronger? Aha! Mia, you're glowing with a true lawyer's aura, my dear. The proud posture and self-confidence is absolutely smashing. Okay, Austin Powers. Poisoning. Let's see here. I think you know exactly where to get it. From this guy. You wouldn't know how to get that kind of poison? I don't believe you. What? In fact, you had an easy access to that kind of poison, didn't you? At your boyfriend's lab. Boyfriend? You mean the victim Doug Swallow? That's right. Up until 8 months ago, Miss Hawthorne was dating Mr. Swallow. And if you'll recall, Mr. Swallow was a pharmacology student at Ivy University. Pharmacology? His laboratory contained highly advanced chemistry equipment. In fact, without such equipment, the culprit could never have attained such a rare and special poison. Well, Miss Hawthorne, seems you had access to such a poison after all. And then it was a matter of slipping it into the victim's coffee when he wasn't looking. The only person who could have done that was the one sitting at his very table. You! No! Order! Could it be? It's nothing but a baseless May I say something, Madam Bay? What is it, Miss Hawthorne? Not a poison in the coffee was 2 teaspoons, correct? In order to carry that much liquid, you would need some kind of container. Well, yes, that's true. I was searched immediately after the incident took place. Quite true. In fact, the entire courthouse was turned upside down. They didn't find a suspicious container anywhere, did they? She's right. They even mentioned that in the report. Well, you could have easily gotten rid of something that small. Excuse me, madam, but this is a court of law. If you're saying that I threw the poison container away, I think you need to show some kind of proof. Proof? She got me good with that. Provide some evidence or I'll have to disallow this line of questioning, Miss Faye. Unless we can come up with some evidence, we're going to lose this lead. Police conducted a full-body search of Dahlia and the entire courthouse, and yet the container holding the poison disappeared right after the crime occurred. We're going to accuse the young lady of committing this murder. Then where's the container the poison was carried in? What happened to it? You were forced to get rid of the container in a hurry, weren't you? And that's why you passed it on to someone that had nothing to do with the case. Someone that you knew wouldn't be searched. Who is this person? Mr. Phoenix Wright, of course. So the defendant was this witness's accomplice? Of course not. She gave the poison to him, disguised as a present. What? But that's... That's a charming little necklace. Is this a little bottle? It's really quite cute. So what about it? What does it mean, Miss Faye? The day that the witness met and fell for Mr. Phoenix Wright was 8 months ago. August 27th, the very same day as the poisoning incident. Under the pretense of love, the witness gave my client a present. All for the purpose of hiding the one piece of evidence that would give her away. What? Are you saying there's a deadly poison in here? No, there's no longer any poison in that bottle. However, I'm certain if the crime lab were to analyze it, they would find a trace amount. No! Order in the court. On behalf of Dolly, I object. Mr. Wright, control yourself. I won't let you bully her like this. Mr. Wright, I thought I told you to stay in your seat. Mr. Wright, why? Why are you going through so much trouble to protect her? Why? Because I'm madly in love with her. Madly in love? I haven't heard anyone say that in a long time. Mr. Wright, have you ever thought about this? Why exactly would a woman like Dahlia Hawthorne really want to date you anyway? Well, I guess she must be madly in love with me too. Mr. Wright, please open your eyes. At this point in the trial, I think it should be obvious to everyone. The real reason that Dahlia Hawthorne is dating you is because of that necklace. Dahlia Hawthorne was not and is not madly in love with you. The only thing she's after is that bottle necklace you love to wear around your neck. My necklace? Back there in the waiting room, you said it yourself. Yeah, but she's so shy. Every time I see her, she always says the same thing to me. Please give it back now. What a strange girl asking for a present back like that. For Dahlia Hawthorne, that necklace is irrefutable evidence of her crime. That's why she absolutely had to get it back. You're lying. But you never gave it back to her. To make things worse for her, you insisted on showing it to everyone you met. That's why. I don't believe you. No, that's a lie! Yeah. Mia, are you alright? The defendant, he's getting away! Bailiff, hurry, after him! Mia, are you alright? Yes, I think so. That boy, he went completely insane! Where's Mr. Wright? It looks like the bailiff caught him, so he should be back soon enough. Thank goodness. Oh no! What is it? The bottle necklace! It's Hawthorne's present. It's gone. What? That's terrible. Mr. Wright must have grabbed it when he slammed into me. Foolish boy, that could be the only thing that could have saved him. What in the blazes are we supposed to do now? Mr. Wright, this sort of behavior is unprecedented in the history of this court. I'm sorry. I'm afraid that your apology is not good enough. Mr. Wright, what did you do with the bottle necklace? Forgive me, I'm sorry. It's okay, just give back the necklace. I ate it. You what? You ate it? It was too big to swallow, so I had to chew it up into little bits first, but yeah. What the? What is he doing now? Your Honor, you've got to stop the trial. Mr. Wright, are you feeling okay? Does your stomach hurt? That bottle you swallowed may have had some poison left in it. It seems the defendant has proven the prosecution's case for us. Clearly that bottle did not contain a deadly poison. How can you be so sure? I think that's obvious. As you can see, the defendant is still very much alive. As for the poison, more like a fledgling defense attorney's overactive imagination. So it would seem. No, there must be some mistake. The bottle must not have had any poison left in it. Either that or the poison must have lost its potency. There. It's all right, rookie. Trusting your client is the most noble thing a defense attorney can do. It's heartwarming to see that you place this much faith in Mr. Wright. But that's how it is for us on the prosecution side, too. For example, I would trust the witness, Miss Hawthorne, with my very life. Which is why I can say that your assertion of her is completely wrong. Jeez, that's enough. Unfortunately, Miss Faye, I cannot accept your explanation of events. Why? This may be impossible for a beginner like you to understand, but in a court of law, evidence is everything. After I proved so much, is she going to get away with everything? Well, now that the suspicion surrounding Ms. Hawthorne has been cleared up, I would like to proceed with the trial. Mr. Wright! I'm sorry, Miss Faye. It totally slipped my mind. I'm really, really sorry. I know you believed in me, and I feel like I really let you down. Mr. Wright, what are you trying to say? There's something I forgot to tell you. What is it? That day, the day I met Doug Swallow. That girl, you shouldn't see her anymore. Hey, it's none of your business. I'm telling you for your sake, if you continue to see her, it's going to be bad news. You're lying. Just listen to me. There's something you need to know about that girl. Last night, someone stole some poison from our lab. Poison? The same thing happened 8 months ago. A drug sample was stolen. She came to the lab that time, too. Could only have been her. That girl is a thief. Stop it! Don't talk about her like that! Is it true? Did he really say that? That's ridiculous! There's one more thing. After I pushed him that day, I got worried and came back to have a look. And she was there. Dolly was right there. She was crouched down next to him. What? She told me not to ever tell anyone about it, but I'm sorry, Dolly. Your Honor, the defendant is... Miss Faye, you tell them. Dolly didn't do it. She's innocent. So Dolly stole poison 8 months ago, too, huh? If you put that together with Mr. Wright's testimony, then there's only one possible conclusion. The defense believes that Miss Dahlia Hawthorne stole some poison on the night before she killed Doug Swallow. The night before? Naturally, her motive for stealing it was to kill someone. Miss Faye, if you're so certain of your theory, then let me ask you this. Yeah, this is your last chance. Think carefully now. There's something she desperately wanted to get back. Therefore, exactly who was Miss Dahlia Hawthorne planning to kill? There was one person that was standing squarely in Miss Dahlia Hawthorne's way. And that person was Mr. Phoenix Wright. Me? That's preposterous. After all, it was Doug Swallow that was murdered. Well, it's true that this is how things worked out. But let's remember that Mr. Swallow died of electrocution, not poison. The person that Miss Hawthorne was planning to poison was, in fact, you, Phoenix Wright. There's no one else that it could be. But how could that be? I thought Mr. Wright and Miss Hawthorne were in love. Poor Mr. Wright. This must be killing him. Hang in there. I'll bring her to justice. I swear it. As I said before, the only thing Miss Hawthorne truly cared about was the one piece of evidence linking her to that incident 8 months ago. That's right, the bottle necklace. That's all she cared about. But even so, why would she go far as to murder him? 8 months ago, just after the fall of that attorney in the basement cafeteria, Dahlia Hawthorne could only think of one thing. How to get rid of the bottle necklace as quickly as possible. No, it can't be. It was a pretty good move she made, too. The evidence was missing for a long time, but there was just one big problem. Although she got him to hide the evidence, Mr. Wright refused to return it to her. To him, the tiny little bottle was a cherished treasure. He even showed it to everyone he met. You mean, that's why she tried to kill Mr. Wright? Correct, Your Honor. It was to retrieve that piece of evidence. That can't be true! Feeny, what a joke you are. Honestly, how could any woman ever count on you for anything? I even told you time and time again to keep your trap shut about me and that necklace. You disgust me. Miss Hawthorne. It appears that we're nearing the end of this trial. Fine, I can tell you plan on making me into a criminal no matter what I say. You are a criminal, Miss Hawthorne. We'll see about that. But first, where's your evidence? Seems your sniveling little crybaby of a client is eating that bottle as a snack. Well, Hey, old man, are you senile or something? Why don't you say something instead of sitting there with that dumb look on your face? Miss Hawthorne, what's happened to you? Are you really that shocked? Or do you prefer me like this way, Mr. Judge? Absolutely no proof. You treat a voluntary witness like she's a mass murderer. Well, I have nothing more to say. I'll be heading home now if you don't mind. But we're not finished. Fine. Then ask this nasty old hag to finish up already. I can't let her get away this time. Stop, Mia. If you keep on pushing without any evidence, you could pay the ultimate price as a lawyer. The ultimate price? You'd be forced to take off your attorney's badge forever, I'm afraid. No. You'd better think it over carefully, Miss Faye. Or should I say Miss Gray? Well, Miss Faye, can you prove the evidence that would establish her guilt once and for all? If I mess up here, my career as a lawyer is over. To be honest, at this point, I don't have any evidence that's well-founded. Even so, I'd rather lose my attorney's badge than let her get away with murder. Your Honor, the defense would like to present proof. Impossible! You can't possibly. Stupid woman. It's the opinion of the court that there has already been enough discussion. Therefore, I will allow only one piece of evidence to be presented. Just one? You're unable to establish her guilt. Then I'm afraid that a very harsh verdict will immediately be handed down on Mr. Wright. I understand, Your Honor. I can just imagine the headlines for tomorrow's newspaper. Up-and-coming lawyer plummets to earth before she gets the chance to soar. She was planning to poison Mr. Wright. If that's the case, then the poison was probably in there. Well then, Miss Faye, please present your evidence. Show to this court irrefutable proof that Miss Hawthorne was planning to poison Mr. Wright. Here it is, Your Honor. The evidence that will prove her guilt once and for all. Cold Killer X, Phoenix Wright's beloved cold medicine. Does our rookie defense attorney have a bit of a cold? If I did, I still wouldn't take this cold medicine. After all, it's been poisoned. What? Remember what the defendant said in his testimony? But I lost my bottle of it around lunchtime on the day of the accident. I always eat it with Dolly, just the two of us. She was the one who took his bottle of Cold Killer X. Then, she poisoned it, knowing that Mr. Wright was going to take some. Now you're really grasping at straws. After all, it was the victim Doug Swallow that was holding the medicine. I would like the court to recall the crime that happened here 8 months ago. Where did Miss Hawthorne hide the evidence? Huh? What are you talking about? 8 months ago, the poison was hidden in her bottle necklace, which she then gave to someone else for safekeeping. Someone she had accidentally run into in the reading room, my client, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Yes, that's right. She did the same thing this time as well. After shoving the victim, Mr. Phoenix Wright left the scene of the crime. That is when the murderer, Dahlia Hawthorne, appeared. With her, she was carrying the poison bottle of Cold Killer X. This, of course, was so she could carry out her plan to murder Mr. Wright. I believe she did testify that she was going to meet with the defendant. Yes, and she heard and saw everything that happened at the scene of the crime, including what the defendant and the victim were arguing about, and the cut electrical cable. That's when she realized, I can't allow Doug Swallow to live. She used the severed electrical cable to silence him forever. Unfortunately for her, this is when the problem occurred. Mr. Wright, who she thought had left the scene, came back to check on the victim. And on top of that, because of the power outage, some students showed up as well. It's hardly any wonder that she was, as she put it, in a state of panic. Recall that she was carrying the bottle of poisoned cold medicine. She must have thought, what if they search me like they did 8 months ago? 8 months ago? Yes, she disposed of the evidence exactly the same way as she did back then. She had someone else hold it, in this case, Doug Swallow. Oh, come on now, everyone. Surely you aren't fooled, are you? This stupid woman, she's nothing but a filthy, stinking liar. Right, Mr. Prosecutor? Uh-huh. Yes, that's exactly right. It's just pure desperation. Wonder which one of us is the desperate one. So, Miss Hawthorne, this cold medicine. Wonder if you wouldn't mind taking some. Well, Mr. Wright ate that necklace of yours, right? Now it's your turn to prove your innocence. What do you say? If I'm just a filthy, stinking liar, then there's no need to worry. So come on, show us. I dare you to take some of this medicine right now. Mia Fey, Mia Fey! Do you think you've won? Well, do you, Mia Fey? That's just fine. For the time being, victory is yours. For the time being? Well, I have a very long memory, you know. You and I will meet again. I'm certain of it. Well then, Mr. Judge. I'll see you later too, okay? Huh? Why, yes. I'm going to go spend a little quality time with the men in blue now. I wish you all the best. Whew. It's finally all over. I refuse to accept this. The defense hasn't shown a scrap of evidence to support their outrageous claim. But even so, your witness seems to have accepted it. I don't care, I'm Winston Payne. And I don't believe one word that this rookie lawyer has said. Well then, Mr. Payne, let me ask you this. Yes? Would you care to try some of this cold medicine? What? Just a little earlier, I could have sworn you said... There, it's alright, rookie. For example, I would trust this witness, Miss Hawthorne, with my very life. So if she's so trustworthy, then I'm sure there couldn't possibly be any poison in here, right? You see, yes. And here comes the backpedal. Come on now, rookie killer. Show this rookie how it's done. How much trust do you really have for this woman? Are you willing to bet your life? My hair! It's flying out my beautiful hair! No! Oh. Mr. Payne, about Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Yes, Your Honor, I'll file papers for her immediate arrest. Tragic, but not surprising. I knew there was something suspicious about her from the very beginning. Don't lie, just admit you were wrong. By the way, Miss Fey. Yes, Your Honor? Is it just me, or did you and Miss Dahlia Hawthorne seem to know each other? Your Honor, whether we did or did not has no bearing on this case. Very well. Mr. Payne, this can't be happening. It's a nightmare. It's like losing my daughter. It appears Mr. Payne has lost his spirit along with his hair. Does the defendant have anything further to say? It can't be true. My dear Dolly. Very well, then. I believe I am ready to pass judgment and bring this trial to an end. The court finds the defendant, Phoenix Wright, not guilty. This court is adjourned. April 11th, Austin, 3:16 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Mia, you were wonderful in there. Thank you for everything, Mr. Grossberg. During the verdict, I thought my hemorrhoids were going to explode like Mount Vesuvius. Mr. Grossberg, do you maybe think you could stop talking about them? That's rather rude. Anyway, this case really made me think. What does it really mean to have a relationship of mutual trust with the client? Perhaps it is we veteran lawyers who have lost the sight of this. Oh, Mr. Wright. Congratulations. Thanks. You know, I was thinking... Go on. The dolly I saw in there on the witness stand, I don't think that was really her. What? Yeah, the dolly I know could never have said those kinds of terrible things. Maybe it's just like, I don't know, a fake or something. Boy, this poor kid still hasn't got a clue. You need to forget about her, Mr. Wright, for your own sake. Yeah, you're right, that's probably for the best. Also, you need to relax a bit more. Try to grow up a little. But, out of all my friends, everyone says I'm the most grown up. What kind of company does this guy keep? Right now, I'm studying to become a lawyer myself. That's what you keep saying. But I thought you were in the art department. Well, yeah, I am. But there's a friend that I desperately want to help. And if I hurry, then I should still be able to save him in time. I see. Say, Miss Faye, a lawyer's someone who can help people when they're in trouble, right? Mr. Wright, I'm still new at this myself. But I think that's exactly what a lawyer is. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'll study my butt off. I'll become a lawyer for sure. I hope we see each other again someday. Maybe even in court. It's been 5 years since I was acquitted of all charges. I became a lawyer like I planned and managed to save my friend. But Mia has passed on to a better place. For me, this trial brings up a lot of painful memories. But it also brings up some very precious ones. Memories that I thought would never rise to the surface again. Mia's gone now. But even so, I can hear her in my mind. Phoenix, no matter what, always believe in your client. In a court of law, your greatest weapon is your belief. 5 long years. Something has happened to me that's made me think back to her words of wisdom. But that's a story for another day.